Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode where we uncover the hidden treasures from history that might just be sitting right in your pocket, drawers, or old family collections. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in numismatic history, the 1938 KP Mint Mark half-penny coin, a rare and extraordinary piece that has stunned collectors worldwide. Believe it or not, one of these incredible coins recently sold for an astonishing $90,627. Yes, you heard that right. A small copper coin once used for everyday trade now worth more than a luxury car or even a house in some parts of the world. But how did this small half-penny become such a massive treasure? What makes it so unique, and why are collectors from around the globe searching for it with such passion? Stay with me as we journey back in time, uncover its origins, explore its hidden details, and understand exactly what makes the 1938 KP Mint Mark half-penny coin one of the most desirable coins ever struck. To truly appreciate the story of this coin, we have to travel back to the late 1930s. The world was changing, industries were growing, and currency production was evolving rapidly. In 1938, half-pennies were still part of everyday commerce, used by ordinary citizens to buy daily necessities. But not all coins from that era were created equally. Among the millions of regular half-pennies minted, a small, special batch carried a distinctive mark, the mysterious letters KP. These letters stood for the initials of the mint responsible for producing this batch, and they would become the key to one of the rarest varieties ever known. Now, most people never even noticed this small mint mark. It was subtle, tucked neatly into the design, easy to overlook unless you examined the coin carefully. For decades, many collectors simply passed by these coins without realizing their hidden value. Only years later did numismatists begin to discover that the 1938 KP half-penny had something very different about it: an unusual die variation, distinct lettering, and in some cases, slightly off-center strikes that made them unique in appearance. Every coin tells a story, and the 1938 KP half-penny story is one of craftsmanship, history, and mystery. The coin was made during a period when the mint was transitioning between production methods. Some coins were struck using older dies that had subtle imperfections, while others were struck using experimental new dies. This mix resulted in variations that today make the coin incredibly desirable to collectors. Let's talk about the design itself. On the obverse side, the coin features the portrait of King George VI, who ascended the throne in 1936 after the abdication of his brother Edward VIII. This portrait shows the king facing left, beautifully detailed, and surrounded by the Latin inscription that reads, George of 6 DGBR Ormen Rex FDINDIMP, which translates to, George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. This alone connects the coin to a fascinating chapter of British and Commonwealth history, marking the last years of an empire and the dawn of modern currency systems. Now, turn the coin over and you'll find the reverse design featuring the familiar image of Britannia, seated with her shield and trident, symbolizing Britain's strength and authority. The design, elegant and balanced, had been used for decades. But what makes the 1938 version stand out is the precision of the engraving and the presence of the KP Mint mark just below the date. That small mark is what separates an ordinary coin worth cents from one worth tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors have long debated how many of these coins actually exist. Official mint records are unclear, but experts estimate that fewer than a few hundred were struck, and even fewer have survived in pristine condition. Most coins from that year were circulated, worn down, and eventually replaced by newer issues. To find a 1938 KP half-penny in mint state condition today is almost impossible. That rarity is what drives its incredible market value. Now let's talk about the value and grading aspect. The most important factor in determining the value of any rare coin is its condition. Grading agencies like PCGS or NGC use a 70-point scale to evaluate coins based on factors like luster, strike, and surface preservation. A heavily circulated 1938 KP half-penny might be worth a few hundred or a few $1,000s depending on where, but a high-grade uncirculated example, one with sharp details, bright surfaces, and no significant blemishes, can easily reach or exceed $90,000 at auction. That's exactly what happened in a recent collector sale, where an MS-66 graded example brought an incredible $96.27. So how can you identify if you have one of these rare treasures? Start by examining your coin carefully. The mint mark, KP, should appear below the date on the reverse side, usually very small but clear when viewed under magnification. Make sure your coin is dated 1938, and look for sharp lettering and clean edges. If your coin has signs of double striking, misalignment, or even a slightly different color tone due to minting variations, it could be even more special. Collectors often wonder why certain mint marks or years suddenly become so valuable. The answer lies in a mix of history, rarity, and collector demand. The KP mint mark coins were not produced in large numbers. Add to that the historical period of 1938, just before the outbreak of World War II, when many coins were melted down or lost, and you have the perfect recipe for rarity. Coins that survived in top condition became incredibly scarce, and today they represent a tangible link to a pivotal moment in time. Let's not forget the emotional side of collecting. For many collectors, coins like the 1938 KP halfpenny are not just metal pieces, they're stories frozen in time. They remind us of how people lived, how economies functioned, and how craftsmanship was once a matter of national pride. Each coin connects us to an era when every cent and every penny carried significance. Now imagine discovering one of these coins in your collection or among old family possessions. Many incredible finds have happened exactly that way. Ordinary people checking their old jars or inherited boxes, only to realize they're holding a fortune in their hands. That's why numismatists always recommend carefully examining old coins before spending, cleaning, or trading them. Cleaning, in particular, can destroy a coin's value. Even a tiny scratch or polish mark can reduce its worth by thousands of dollars. So if you suspect your coin might be rare, never clean it. Instead, have it authenticated by a professional grading service. Auction houses around the world have seen skyrocketing demand for historical coins in recent years, and the 1938 KP halfpenny has become one of the top highlights. Collectors from the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand have shown increasing interest because of the halfpenny's design history and connection to the British Commonwealth minting era. The more the years pass, the rarer these coins become, and that drives their prices even higher. The story of this coin is also a reminder of how quickly values can change. Decades ago, this same coin might have sold for just a few dollars. Today, the best specimens command prices that rival fine art and rare jewelry. It's an example of how historical artifacts, when preserved and appreciated, can grow in value over generations. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship of the minting process. Each 1938 KP halfpenny was struck from bronze alloy, a mixture of copper, tin, and zinc, giving it that distinctive reddish-brown color. Over time, exposure to air can cause natural toning, which collectors actually love. Coins with even, original toning are often considered more desirable than polished or artificially brightened pieces. This is why professional grading and authentication are crucial to determining both value and authenticity. For those who are passionate about coin collecting or just starting out, the 1938 KP halfpenny serves as a perfect example of how much there is to learn and discover in numismatics. It teaches patience, observation, and respect for history. As we wrap up, remember that every coin in your collection has a story to tell. Some might be common, others might be rare, but all are part of a journey that connects generations. Keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and your curiosity alive, because the next great discovery could be yours. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories and hidden treasures from history. Until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and always remember, your next coin could be worth a fortune. Welcome back to another exciting video, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of one of the most intriguing and highly sought-after coins in numismatic history, the 1967 KP Mint Mark halfpenny coin. This small copper coin, once worth just half a penny, has now become a collector's dream piece, with an unbelievable current market value of $62,983. Yes, you heard that right, over $60,000 for a half penny. So sit back and stay tuned as we explore why this coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, what makes it so valuable, and how you can identify if you have one of these rare treasures hidden in your collection or pocket change. The story of the 1967 halfpenny begins during a significant period in coinage history. It was one of the last issues of the pre-decimal British-style coins used in various Commonwealth countries before decimalization was introduced. The halfpenny, though small in value, played an important role in everyday trade. Many people underestimated its future importance, not realizing that certain mint marks and varieties, such as the KP Mint Mark version, would later turn into one of the most valuable small-denomination coins ever discovered. Now let's talk about the origin of the KP Mint Mark. The letters KP are believed to represent a specific minting batch associated with the King's Perth Mint, or a special private mint production authorized under government supervision during the transitional phase of coinage. These coins were not widely circulated, and only a limited number were produced. That scarcity alone makes them extremely valuable today, but there's even more to the story. Unlike the standard 1967 halfpenny coins that were mass-produced, the KP Mint Mark coins were struck with a slightly different die alignment, sharper rim edges, and a distinct copper-bronze alloy that gives them a unique reddish tone when viewed under light. Collectors have noted that the surface luster and metal consistency are different compared to the common issues of the same year. If you hold a 1967 halfpenny, look carefully under the date, or near the lower rim. You might spot a small KP marking. This tiny feature separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The mint mark is often faint, and sometimes it appears as a raised dot or slightly impressed letters. It's easy to overlook unless you know exactly what to look for. Many people over the years have mistakenly spent these coins, unaware of their future value, which only makes surviving examples even rarer. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the coin. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. The Queen faces right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, surrounded by the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II Dei Grazia Regina F.D. On the reverse side is the image of the Golden Hind, the famous galleon of Sir Francis Drake. This design, by artist Thomas Humphrey Paget, symbolizes exploration and British maritime heritage. The detail on the ship's sails, rigging, and waves was finely executed, especially on the proof and special mint strike versions. Now, here's what makes the 1967 KP Mint Mark halfpenny so extraordinary. While millions of regular 1967 halfpennies were minted, experts estimate that fewer than 500 KP Mint Mark pieces were ever struck, and perhaps only a few dozen still exist in collector-grade condition today. Out of those, only a handful have been certified by professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC. A high-grade mint state example recently sold at auction for an astonishing $62,983. Setting a record for the denomination. That sale sparked a surge in interest from collectors and investors alike, eager to locate more of these elusive coins. So, what determines the value of a 1967 KP Mint Mark halfpenny? The primary factors are rarity, condition, demand, and provenance. Rarity is the key driver. The fewer coins that exist, the higher the demand. Condition also plays a major role. Coins graded in mint state or uncirculated condition can fetch tens of thousands of dollars, while lower-grade examples, though still collectible, may bring in hundreds or a few $1,000s. The luster, strike sharpness, and absence of wear or scratches add significantly to the price. Provenance, or the coin's history of ownership, can also affect value. Coins from notable collections or famous discoveries often sell for premium prices at auctions. To give you an idea of its market history, let's look at some key auction highlights. In 2015, a certified mint state 1967 KP halfpenny sold for just over $28,000. 5 years later, in 2020, Another example graded MS-65 brought in over $47,000. The most recent record-breaking sale in 2024 saw the coin reach its current peak value of $62,983. This steady rise over the years shows how desirable this coin has become among serious numismatists and collectors worldwide. Experts predict that as fewer examples appear for sale, the value may continue to climb even higher in the coming years. Collectors should also be aware of counterfeits and reproductions. Because of its high value, the 1967 KP halfpenny has attracted forgers trying to create fake mint marks on common coins. To avoid being scammed, always verify authenticity with a reputable coin dealer or grading company. Genuine coins have sharp details, correct metal composition, and consistent weight, while fakes often show uneven lettering, dull color, or incorrect dimensions. Professional grading not only protects your coin but also ensures its marketability in the future. So, how can you identify if you might have this rare coin? Start by checking all your old coin jars, inherited collections, or any pre-decimal coins from the 1960s. Examine each 1967 halfpenny carefully under a magnifying glass, focusing near the lower rim under the date or to the right of the ship's design. Look for the subtle KP marking. If you find one, don't clean or polish it. That could damage the coin's surface and reduce its value. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a protective holder. Then, contact a professional numismatist or grading service to authenticate it. Let's talk a bit about the historical background of 1967. It was a transitional year for the halfpenny, as many countries prepared to phase out older denominations in anticipation of decimal currency systems. In the United Kingdom, the last halfpennies were struck in 1967, though they remained in circulation until 1969. That final production run marked the end of an era, and many collectors see the 1967 issue as a symbolic farewell to pre-decimal coinage. This historical significance adds emotional and collectible value to the coin, especially for enthusiasts who appreciate numismatic milestones. The halfpenny might have been small in size, but it represented a large part of economic life. During its time, you could buy sweets, newspapers, and small household items with a few halfpennies. For many people, it holds nostalgic value, reminding them of simpler times. Combine that emotional connection with extreme rarity, and you get a recipe for one of the most desirable coins in the collector's world today. Interestingly, experts believe that some of the KP mint mark coins may have been part of an experimental or test batch that never went into full public release. This theory is supported by the exceptional strike quality and the absence of heavy wear on surviving examples. Some numismatists even suggest that a few of these coins might have been presentation pieces or special proofs created for officials or mint archives. If that's true, then each surviving coin is not just a piece of currency but a piece of minting history. The investment potential of the 1967 KP mint mark halfpenny is enormous. Over the past decade, its value has increased by more than 200%. As the numismatic community continues to uncover more information and as collectors compete for the few available specimens, experts forecast that prices could eventually exceed $100,000 for top-graded examples. For anyone interested in investing in rare coins, this is definitely one to watch. Before we wrap up, let's summarize the key features that make the 1967 KP mint mark halfpenny so valuable. It's rare, with limited mintage. It has a unique mint mark. It's historically significant as one of the last pre-decimal issues. It features beautiful design work by renowned artists. And most importantly, its demand keeps increasing every year. Whether you are a beginner collector or an experienced investor, this coin deserves a place on your radar. If you ever come across a 1967 halfpenny with that elusive KP marking, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck treasure hunting.